Okay, so if you live in Victoria, Australia, and you are a gay, then according to the state government, you are officially a victim. You might not think you're a victim, you might not want to be a victim, but I'm sorry, sport, in the eyes of the government, you are a victim. Give me a minute to plug sponsor, then we'll talk about how you're a victim. There's suggestions that our credit scores might be based on our internet history in the near future. The same way banks use data like income to judge credit eligibility now is how websites could use internet search history in the future. Researchers studying the relationship between finance and tech found that data from your browsing, search and purchase history could be used to decide your credit in the future. If you want to prevent this from happening to you, use the best VPN so you can keep your search history separate from your personal data. I highly recommend using VirtualShield. It's built from the ground up for privacy. That's why there's a strict no logs policy. Go to hidewithbear.com to get 50% off today, or click the link in the video description. You've got nothing to lose. I was recently sent the Victorian government's new LGBTIQ inclusive language guide. It's a pretty interesting read, so I thought we'd go through it. Now, first of all, I think we've got to set ourselves a clear baseline. What does the acronym LGBTIQ stand for? Because it seems like it's always changing. First it was LGBT, then it was LGBTQ, then it was LGBTQIA+, then it was
LGBTTTIQQAAPP.
So for the purpose of this guide, the acronym stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans and gender diverse, intersex, queer and questioning. I mean, sure, Victorian government, that works. As long as you're prepared to erase the existence of gender diverse and questioning people who apparently don't even deserve their own letters. I mean, unless the queers are prepared to share with the questioning people. But I bet you didn't even ask the queers what they thought, did ya? And you didn't even put a plus on the end. It's like you're not even prepared to acknowledge any other new types of gays that come forward in the future. Inclusive language guide my ass. Recognise that LGBTIQ people have suffered and continue to experience discrimination. Well, yeah, I'm sure some of them have suffered and continue to experience discrimination, but you could say that about any group of people. Remember that rollerbladers have suffered and continue to experience discrimination. Remember that white people have suffered and continue to experience discrimination. Remember that Creed fans have suffered and continue to experience discrimination and deserve to experience a lot more discrimination. My point is, you're not automatically a victim just because you like to get fucked in the ass by other guys. Don't assume a person is heterosexual. Don't assume that everyone is heterosexual or that this is the norm. Avoid using language such as wife or husband that assumes all relationships are heterosexual, as this excludes non-heterosexual people and devalues their relationships. I thought chicks could have wives and dudes could have husbands. I'm pretty sure we did a whole vote on that. Geez, get with the times, Victoria. Words and phrases such as partner, parents, relationship, in a relationship are examples of LGBTIQ inclusive language. Gender, sex and sexuality are all separate concepts. Gender is part of how you understand who you are and how you interact with other people. Many people understand their gender as being female or male. Okay, so let's consider that for a second. Gender, sex and sexuality are all separate concepts. Many people understand their gender as being female or male. Okay, so gender, sex and sexuality are all separate concepts and female and male are obviously different types of gender. Okay, cool, let's continue. Some people understand their gender as a combination of those or neither. Gender can be expressed in different ways, such as through behaviour or physical appearance. Sex refers to a person's biological sex characteristics. This has historically been understood as either female or male. Okay, so gender, sex and sexuality are all separate concepts, and two types of sex are genders, as we just stated. But they're all separate concepts. Come on, motherfucker, keep up. This isn't confusing at all. However, we now know that some people are born with natural variations to sex characteristics. Sexuality or sexual orientation describes a person's romantic and or sexual attraction to others. A person's gender does not necessarily mean they have particular sex characteristics or a particular sexuality or vice versa. LGBTIQ terminology is diverse and constantly evolving. Language used to describe different LGBTIQ people and by different parts of LGBTIQ communities change over time and can differ across cultures and generations. There will also be differences in how people individually use or define particular terms. You may also encounter outdated or even offensive terms in medical, psychological or legal contexts. Practice makes perfect, so keep trying. No one will get the language right 100% of the time for 100% of the people. The important thing is to keep trying, and if you make a mistake, quickly apologise and continue the conversation. Oh fuck. I think it's coming. Oh god. I fucking hate winter so much. Okay, so regarding that last part, you need to keep practicing the language we dictate is acceptable at any moment in time. And by the way, we're gonna change the language we feel is acceptable at any moment in time whenever the fuck we feel like it. If you haven't read our minds and fail to use the words we think you're allowed to use, then you're a homophobe motherfucker. You need to apologise right now. Then you need to unlearn the shit we said was okay a few days ago and re-educate yourself. The important thing is that you bend the knee to us gays and feel bad whenever we say you should feel bad. Because after all, we're victims and you're not a victim because you like to have sex with vaginas. Describing LGBTIQ communities, the VPS, I don't know, Victorian Public Service, is moving towards LGBTIQ, which stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans and gender diverse, intersex, queer and questioning, as an inclusive umbrella abbreviation to encompass a range of diverse sexualities, genders and sex characteristics. It has a growing level of recognition and understanding within Victoria. When writing about LGBTIQ people, it is best to use the term communities, as these are many separate and distinct communities within this umbrella term. Oh, that's so gay. People may fit more than one of these terms. Heterosexual and cisgender people can be part of LGBTIQ communities. For example, there are straight, trans and intersex people, while LGBTI communities often work together, for example, to advocate for equal rights. There are different communities with their own distinct experiences, needs and priorities. Alright, listen, that f***ing does it. I've been thinking about this for like the last 19 seconds. I can't keep living this double life. I am an LGBTIQIQNBFB. Hi, Victorian government. I currently identify as an interqueer, non-binary fuckboy. Just wondering if it would be possible to add IQNBFB to the currently accepted LGBTIQ acronym used to describe us gays. So that would make it LGBTIQIQNBFB. Kind regards, Bearing Bear. Recession, session. Recession.